everyone. Give you a little garden glove namaste. I'm Jill of Nuit, Astrology. I thought you could join me here in the garden in this beautiful, actually pretty cold, early April day in southwestern Virginia. And every time I'm outside in nature teaches me things, reminds me of things. And so I thought I'd share some of the insights that I'm gaining as I weed the garden. Now, you've heard me talk about weeding the garden before. If you haven't, I got an Instagram on that. And of course, editing is important, right? You gotta take out what you don't need, even if it's like kind of like a useful thing, right? Like this chickweed. All right, you can eat this. It's delicious, but this stuff over here has gotten a little too leggy. I have a beautiful patch right near the house, so I'm gonna eat on that. And I have plenty, but right now even though it's a good thing, even though it's a positive thing, it's taking energy out of the ground. It's taking energy or space away from what I want to plant here. And so even though it's not inherently a bad thing, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take it out. And the other thing that I'm noticing as I'm in the garden today is that I see things coming up and I don't always know what they are. Sometimes they're new to me. And it's just like in life. Sometimes you have a new experience and you're not sure about it. You're not sure if you want that in your life. It takes time. And you could I could just pull everything up because I'm afraid of it. No, I don't want anything to grow that I don't know what it is. Might be a weed. Yeah, I could do that. But it also might be a self-seeded zinnia or a sunflower. I see some plants coming up back near the house that look to me like the first leaves of spinach, which are kind of different, like they're elongated. They're not what I thought was in that bed, and I'm like, did I throw some spinach in there, or did some spinach decide to grow there? The interesting thing about plants, kind of like people, is this idea that if given the opportunity to root where they choose, they tend to grow a little bit more beautifully. I had this amazing epiphany when I was taking this wonderful course down in Asheville, and I can't remember, I think it was Luke Cannon, and he said, imagine the difference between a plant that chooses where to grow and a plant that's being told to grow in a small straight line crowded by other plants. I think about that when I think of people. But here's the thing, when I'm gonna let some of these things go that I'm not sure belong in my life. I'm not sure they belong in my garden. I gotta monitor them. Because some of them might be like, I just came across an oak tree. It's so amazing. Oaks will, the little acorns will send down their root and be so far down there. And then on the surface, it's still intact, the nut. It hasn't sent its leaves out. And you look at it and you just think it's laying there, and all of a sudden it's like making plans, right? It is committing to that spot. And I got nothing against oak trees, but I don't have room for one in the garden. And there's really no room for this, for an oak tree in the garden. There's nothing wrong with oak trees, but I know their nature. I understand what they need. And I understand what they'll do to the rest of the things and the rest of my little ecosystem. And so I can't have it. I gotta pull it up. The same thing with some of these other plants that I'm gonna let go. I've gotta monitor them because it's kind of like mugwort. I let the mugwort go to seed one year, and now that stuff is everywhere, and it grows through the roots. So you can pull off the top and think you got it, and that thing is like resilient, working its way through your garden. And it will take over and it will squeeze out everything else. And so that's the thing too with gardening and with life. You have to look at the negative space too. You have to look at where you don't want anything so that there's room for the things that you have to grow. And the other thing that the garden teaches me right now is that you can take on too much. You can make big plans and then not follow through. You can become easily overwhelmed. And so I try to get out here just for a little bit every day and tend tend the garden. And little by little, you know, it's that saying, inch by inch, life's a cinch, yard by yard. Life is hard. And the garden teaches us that as well. By tending it a little bit every day, paying attention, I can hopefully maintain the things I want to grow and evolve and get bigger. And I can kind of let go of the things that I don't want, that don't belong, that don't fit in. Just because it's easy doesn't mean that's the thing I should let take over. I might want something that is a little more high maintenance, like tomatoes, peppers. And then to everything there is a season. This chickweed is amazing right now, and I'm enjoying it so much. And I'm gonna enjoy the absolute hell out of it while it's here. And then I'll let some of it go to seed, so I'll have more. And then it'll be done. And I have to think about what's gonna go in its place, right? It's kind of like when I was thinking about when my children would get old enough to leave. I thought, wow, what's gonna be in their place? What's gonna be in that place? All that nurturing energy. You can see it. But it's also in my new relationship and, you know, my partner's daughter and my new business, right? So what else does the garden teach me? That I can have expectations, but they're not always fulfilled. The garden also teaches me that there is a season for everything. And you can really want one particular thing to grow and thrive. And you might realize that it's just not the year for it. It's just not the time for it. But it doesn't mean you stop planting. You don't give up. But you enjoy the things that are flourishing. And you nurture them. And you send your energy to what you want. You celebrate the successes in the garden. You just enjoy the things that are thriving. And the things that didn't make it, yeah, you might be a little bummed, but who knows? Maybe your neighbor's garden has more of what you wanted and couldn't grow, and they don't have any of the whatever you have, and you can share, right? Well, I just was having these thoughts, and I thought I would share them with you. Be sure to check out on my Instagram from last year. I've got a couple of gardening videos on there that you might find useful. Well, namaste. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.